gun, people. Man, this is a great video of how the Second Amendment and how a gun is the greatest equalizer of somebody being attacked and outnumbered. So when I first saw this, well, you know what? Let's watch it and then I'll go through it because it's pretty short. Woman's getting attacked, multiple attackers, defending herself. She's able to get her gun out of the purse. And chases one guy around the corner there, drops her purse, goes after this other person. So, what happened here? Who thinks the woman should be charged? Who thinks what should she be charged for? And if she is charged, which crime did she commit? Because those are the things that DAs and cops and everybody are going to ask when they see this. Now, I'm going to tell you now, she was charged. Originally with aggravated homicide or attempted homicide because she shot this one girl over here multiple times, and she shot at this girl. I'm not sure if she hit her or not. So let's look at this from the jump street here at the front. So, when this starts, you see this able-bodied male riding around in a handicap cart. Rick, you can't do that. Those are for handicapped. Yeah, that's because you're an idiot. And this able-bodied male riding around in the little cart. Rick, those are supposed to be quiet, you big dummies. You don't live in a real world. You live in a world where you think people follow the rules. So, I originally thought when I first saw that these guys were working in unison with the other two girls. Because if you watch, the girl that gets attacked, coming around the corner now, that's her. It almost looks like this guy backs up and blocks her path. So I'm thinking when I first saw that all four of these people were involved. It wasn't. She actually, I think, knows the white hoodie and the guy in a black shirt. I think she knows them, and they're actually trying to help her. The other two women that come up behind her are the attackers on her. So she's walking up. See, again, I thought he blocked her path, and then you're going to see the other car come in here and kind of block her path. And I said, oh man, there's a conspiracy. They're working together to trap this woman to steal her stuff. Now, this isn't the case here, but from a cop's eyes, this would what I would call as a common scheme and design of people working together. These two women target somebody. They target this woman because she has an expensive purse, an expensive watch, because she's picking up expensive perfume. I don't know how expensive you can get at Walmart. But so they target her, and now these two guys act like they block her path and slow her down so she can't escape, and then these two come up. And when I first saw it, I was thinking, wow, man, these guys are actually, they scammed her and really set her up. But after I read the story and read more about it, these two women and this woman supposedly had words, and she left. She walked away, which means she's not considered the primary aggressor. These two women came up and attacked her from the rear, which makes them the primary aggressor. Now, these two guys, I think, are helping her. I'm assuming since both these knuckleheads are on their little handicap carts, they know each other. And since they know each other, you'll see this guy in the black shirt help the woman with the gun after the shooting. And I don't know what happens to do with the white hoodie. Maybe the white hoodie knows these two. Looking at the fight, I tried to slow it down. It was hard to tell. So let's take a look at it. So right here, this girl just cold-cocks her from the rear. A really violent attack from the rear. Slugs her. I know people can't imagine that. Rick, nobody would walk up to a woman and hit him from behind and try to break their neck. Yeah, okay. You keep saying that. Tolerance, diversity is our strength. All that other liberal crap they're teaching. So these two predators are attacking her. And I don't know if she's the good person in this. I don't know if she said something or did something that provoked this, but it doesn't matter. She walked away and these two came. So they're the primary aggressor. So as they lay wails and punching and they are swinging and knocking her out, is deadly force authorized right now? It's tough. I can see why the DA originally charged, because if I was reviewing this and I knew all the facts, This woman had 2 able-bodied males that were helping her against 2 females. So is it reasonable for her to feel that she was outnumbered and in danger? Now, I'm not saying these 2 women didn't wail on her and hit her, and I'm okay with her use of force. I think she should be 100% justified. If I was king, she'd be absolutely 100% not to shoot them, but to chase them down and shoot them if they fell again. But I'm not king. So she fights them off. They're pulling her hair. They're hitting her. They're punching her. Is this serious bodily injury? Is this possible death? Look, she knows she has a gun in there. If they get her gun, that's justifiable fear. She has to protect that gun. And she knows there's a gun. So she's fighting for her life here. They're trying to get her. They are still punching and swinging. The guy is trying to protect and help her. This guy, I think, comes over to help. It's hard to tell. He's kind of staying in the background. This guy's kind of dragging on her. The other 2 are dragging on her. And she gets the gun out. See the gun? Now, when they were attacking her, when they had the numbers and they had the power and they had the ability to beat her up, where was government to help her? Where were the employees? Where was security? They were nowhere to be found. Because self-protection is something you should never give up to anybody, because when you give it up to someone else, they will either never be there or they get to decide when and if they help you. Never give up the right to self-protection. And gun control is nothing more than giving up your right to self-protection. So when she pulls out this gun, suddenly the odds change. And that's why the gun is the greatest equalizer that was ever invented. It protects the weak, the disabled, the person who's alone, who's being outnumbered by a mob. It's an immediate equalizer when predators decide to attack you. And for the idiots that think government will always be there and you can just call 911 and they'll magically appear out of a phone booth and save you, well, that's because you're an idiot. So she pulls out the gun and, of course, everybody scatters, including her friends. Maybe these guys have seen her shoot before because they're both like, oh, hell no, she got a gun! And boom, everybody's gone. So this girl runs away. She shoots her multiple times. Is this authorized? I mean, we see cops shoot people like this all the time. But she's not a cop. I think the court's going to rule that in the heat of the battle, when she immediately pulled her gun and to immediately shoot, she didn't have time to think about chasing. It wasn't premeditated. A lot of jurisdictions have a heat of the battle jury instruction. They explain what heat of the battle is. And when you're acting in emotion and you're defending yourself, sometimes, if you remember, there was a case a while back where that pharmacist was being robbed by 2 guys and he shot them and they got out. And he went outside and he chased one of the guys that got away outside. And when he came back in, one of the guys on the ground was still moving and he shot him. And they charged him. And I think they convicted him. I think it was BS. But again, my opinion doesn't matter, other than the fact that I can tell you kind of where the courts are going to go and what they're going to use to justify. So I think this one, I can't believe the DA really charged on this one, other than the fact he might have said, you know what? You weren't outnumbered. You had 2 males helping you, and you had a gun. In her mind, her defense attorney is going to be saying, I had a gun. I didn't know if they were trying to kill me. I didn't know if they had a gun. They were going to shoot me or harm me. I pulled my gun out and fired immediately. I didn't have time to think. It was the heat of the battle. I think she's okay. And that's why they dropped the aggravated attempted murder charge. But wait. So she fires a few rounds here. Meanwhile, dude in the white hoodie's gone. This dude gets up and goes, all right, looks like she's focusing on someone else. This is where they charge her. Notice she goes around here, bang. She shoots at the other woman over here. So the problem with this shooting is they're saying that she gave chase. She was no longer in danger. And this chase and shooting them made her the primary aggressor. And I talk about that term, primary aggressor, a lot, and you need to understand it. You don't want to become the primary aggressor. You always want to stay on the victim so government can't come after you. Now, again, my personal opinion, I got no problem with her going after this one and shooting her. That's me. But in a court's eyes, they're going to say, and the DA is going to argue, you lost your heat of the battle immediately when you shot this one. I'm okay with heat of the battle. I'll let that slide because we can't prove that you had forethought, you obviously made a decision to go chase and pursue. However, on this case, she walks over there when there's no threat and pursues, drops her purse, re-gets her grip, and then shoots these guys. And that's why she's getting charged. Not to mention she knocked down a sign. Who's going to pay for all the bullets and what about the other employees? There's some woman over here saying, hey, how much is ammo? Is that at Walmart ammo? Is there a special on aisle 14, Walmart ammo, just used to save a woman's life? We have a special, 50% off. All right, so now she's still looking for him. See, she's on a mission here. Now, I don't know if she shot here, but this is where they're getting her. She got caught up, which, again, I think it's okay. I'm all right with this because she's upset. They tried to take her life. They tried to take her gun. They could have killed her. If she didn't have a gun, she could be dead. Instead of her weave laying there on the ground, that could be her body laying on the ground. Cops coming here drawing chalk line around her weave would be drawing a chalk line around her body. So, personally, I'm okay with what she's doing because I think when somebody attacks you, you have full right to defend yourself 100%. And if it takes chasing them down, you go ahead. I don't care. To me, if I was her attorney, she was pursuing them because they were a danger to other people. They tried to hurt her, and she was going to try and make a citizen's arrest and take them into custody for the police because they had just attacked her, and she knew what they looked like. And in the heat of the battle, she may not be able to identify them later, and therefore she pursued them to assist police. And that would be my stance on why she went after him. I don't know what he's going to say. But we can go on and look at this a little bit further. This guy starts cleaning up the mess. Damn, my girl pulled out a gun and there's shit everywhere. All right, so he picks up her purse, picks up her hair, he picks up her purse and leaves half her stuff. Comes back to her. I don't know what happened to the white hoodie dude. Maybe he wasn't. Now see, that could change things too. If the white hoodie was with the two females, then that goes back to there was 3 on 2 and her force is justified. But she would know that. We looking at the video don't know that. The DA and the investigators who's doing this would know who the witnesses are. Who was this guy in a white shirt? Did you know him? Why were you both on these carts riding around if you didn't know him? So, that would be an investigation. But if the guy in a white was with the other 2, then that justifies her force more. That's why there's always more that we don't know than we know. And when we see a video, at first, when I saw this video, my first opinion was these 4 people tried to attack her, and she was absolutely 100% justified in shooting everybody. But then when I found out that one of the guys, if not 2 of them, were helping her, and then when she pursued them after the fight, the heat of the battle was over, that's where she kind of lost her protection. And again, somebody's going to be coming here, Rick, she was a victim, and I can't believe you're siding with the criminals. I'm not siding with the criminals. I'm telling you what the courts are going to side with and how they're going to rule on her and how government is going to go after her. Defending yourself and surviving attacks is the first step. You have to later defend yourself and survive the government attack because government is not your friend. We don't have reasonable government. If we had reasonable government, it would be like, you know what? If somebody tries to steal your property, deadly force is authorized. Thefts would go down immediately if that was the case. People would not be getting robbed if you could shoot people who tried to steal your stuff. But then that would put a lot of judges and a lot of lawyers and defense attorneys out of jobs because theft would go down and you wouldn't be able to charge people for crap like this when they defend themselves. So then what would happen to government? Remember, government has to supply itself with constant food in order to justify more government, more taxes, more money to support more government. So this is a great shooting. I got no problem with her. She is getting charged for pursuing them, whether or not they said the defendants or somebody didn't show up. I don't know if it was the defendants or the suspects that didn't show up to the preliminary hearing. So the cop justified and read in their statements. I think she ought to go to court. This might be a good case for jury to say, you know what, who cares? Jury nullification. We're tired of government coming after people who are defending themselves. We don't care if she's wrong by the law or not. We're going to find her not guilty, and that means government, you have to leave her alone. Jury nullification. I was surprised at how many people weren't aware of that concept that the jury is the most powerful thing out there, and it's a great check and balance on government, because when DAs get out of control and government gets out of control and they start charging stupid crimes and trying to put everybody in jail, jurors can go, we're not finding anybody guilty. We don't care how good your case is. We don't care if you prove it 200% they were guilty. We're going to vote not guilty because government's out of control and we're tired of you attacking decent citizens who are defending themselves. Jury nullification, defense of a weapon, the greatest equalizer ever. Never give up your gun or your right to self-protection. Well, then that there, brought to you by Walmart.